All right, welcome to another episode of In the Zone. I am your host, Chris Broussard. We will have Knockdown Jay with Jason McIntyre on later. But first, it is my pleasure to bring on a longtime friend and colleague, Ric Bucher. You all know him, I'm sure, from ESPN and Sirius Radio. And man, we go back over 20 years.
Yeah, we do.
We go back to covering the league together for ESPN.
Hooping together?
Yeah, I was going to say some of the most legendary media games ever.
For sure, for sure.
And certainly most competitive back in the day. That's how we met, actually.
Yep.
Playing media basketball.
3-on-3.
Yep.
Beating the hell out of each other. And being able to play. You know, the beauty of it, I don't know if they still get to do it because security is ramped up and all of that. But we used to be able to play pickup on the actual courts.
Yep. We played in the Alamo Dome. We played in
Miami.
At Golden State, Miami. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was. Do you still play?
I still. I'm playing. My kids are young teenagers now.
Okay.
And they both
beating
play.
you yet?
So it's a challenge. I worked my way down. It was before I would only take jump shots.
Okay.
And then it was I would only finish with my offhand, my right hand. Now it's like anything I gotta do, I gotta go. I gotta do whatever I can to win.
Elbows.
Oh, and by the way, like my daughter, like no one can beat her in horse.
Really?
She is a shooter, and she's like, and she doesn't do try to fancy stuff, right?
Yeah.
She'll just kill you with the mid-range and
like
the three
that.
all day long. It's aggravating as hell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, look, man, it's great to have you.
Good to be
Great
here.
to talk
Thanks
with
for
you
having me.
again. I just want to get your thoughts. We know you got a wealth of NBA knowledge, going way back, but also current day. So let's just get right to it. LeBron James goes to the Lakers in free agency. Do you think he made the right call?
Yes, because it was really the only realistic call that he could make. And let's face it, take aside everything that he said about why he's doing it or being in championship mode or any of that stuff. He's set up to want to live in LA, to work in LA after his career. He's going to have, he gets to join a franchise that is one of the legendary franchises. So for all of that, I can't fault him at all for making the decision that he made. Now, do I think he's going to win another championship? No, I don't think so.
Don't think so?
I
Okay.
don't think so, and I don't think that's the be all and the end all for him now. If he does, then he puts himself in very rare air. He's won 3 championships with 3 different teams. But for me, it's really about setting everything else up for him. And above and beyond everything else, my understanding is he just didn't want to be associated with Dan Gilbert anymore. And people, if it was about championships, it was about winning, then we know the control and the influence that he has. He could have probably set it up to go to Houston or to Philadelphia or someplace else that it would have been about all that. It's not here. He gets to be on the ground floor and help them build whatever it's going to be. I just don't know on the timeline for him physically that it's going to be on a timeline that's going to be quick enough for him to win another one. Because he's defied Father Time all this time. And I know how much time he puts into making sure he's in supreme condition.
Yeah.
But as we both know, and not to put us in the category of his athleticism, but it's just, we've seen it already.
Yeah.
He's not the same guy. Just like Kobe wasn't the same guy. Michael Jordan wasn't the same guy. You can go down the line. There's a certain number of NBA minutes that you have on your body before it starts to take its toll. And we're seeing that with him now.
Let me ask you this quickly, because everybody talks about the GOAT conversation. And people feel like he's got to win more rings. I have a hunch, and I haven't talked to you about this.
Yeah.
I'd say he's the second best player ever behind Jordan. My hunch is that you do not have him that high. Where do you have him in the GOAT talk?
See, I hate this debate. I hate this because if you're going to use the template for what we judge Jordan by, I can't use that same template with LeBron. You go to 6 championships, you go to 6 finals, you win 6. Saying you went to 9, like the thing that makes LeBron unique is his longevity, is that he's maintained his athleticism for as long as he has. He's been as great as he's been for as long as he has. But that's kind of a different category than the excellence within a certain period of time. And so I off the top of my head, I wouldn't put him second. I'm certainly not going to put him first.
Do you have Jordan first?
I have Jordan first. Okay. And then it just becomes, it's just a mixed bag.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you have LeBron ahead of Kobe?
I do not have LeBron ahead of Kobe. Again, if we're going, here's the thing. I could put him at the top if we're talking about longevity. If you want to say excellence for this period of time, Michael was never great for that long. 9 championships. Michael took a year off in between the three-peats. Like, there's a lot of things I could say, hey, for whatever you want to say about LeBron, he never took any time off. He's kept this train rolling. So in that respect, if we were going to go by that template, I could say he's done it. And then there's like all the other things, the social conscience, the cultural difference, he's been such a positive influence on Akron in any number of ways. Like, there's so much that LeBron has done that I can't say, Kobe's done some good things. Michael did some good things. They didn't do all these things.
He has,
So if you put it in a particular prism, I could put him right at the top. But if we're going to go by kind of the standard that we've used all along the way, then I can't.
We used to debate on ESPN.com. I don't know, we did it for a year
about
or two.
Everything.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about LeBron, and you said something, this was, gosh, he probably was still in Cleveland.
Yeah,
his first time. And you said something that now I really do think may ring true. You said the comparison, everybody's talking about Jordan, LeBron.
Yeah.
He really may be this generation's Wilt Chamberlain.
I agree.
So talk about that.
Yeah, just because it's his freak of nature physicality, and the position that he played and the skills that he has that just made him different, completely different. And at the same time, Wilt had his issues with free throws. Wilt had his, he could be great, but was he great at the right moments? He could be up and down and inconsistent. He was a great personality. He was a great influence socially and culturally.
That's a nice
he was
way
in the
of
movies,
saying. But you're right.
In a variety of ways. I mean, you're talking one, and that's certainly part of it. But I just, that to me, that connection and that idea that Wilt, to win, Wilt always needed that other guy. And
he was by far the best player in the world.
Yeah.
But didn't win nearly as much as you would have thought.
Exactly.
And sometimes I wonder if it's because he did so much so well that he kind of did it all. And LeBron's similar.
Yeah.
Like, LeBron becomes the system.
Yes.
And I think that's why he can he could take me and you and we'd be a great team.
Yes.
But I think he has trouble beating a talented group that plays as a team. San Antonio, Golden State.
Right. Well, and it's why veterans have always worked better with him.
Yeah.
Because you need to be able to read and react to him. You're not running a specific system. You're going down the floor, and you need to be able to affect the game without the ball in your hands. That's why, him going to the Lakers with this group, like, everybody's like, oh, Kyle Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball. I'm like, well, but they're not going to have the ball the way they did before. So the numbers aren't going to be the same. And can they, like, Kyle Korver's a great piece to have next to him. Because Kyle Korver's just going to read and react. I'm going to be here if you need me. J.R. Smith, too, kind of the same thing. And then I'm going to defend at one end, or I'm going to stay. I'm always going to be in the right place at the right time. He's going to have none of that here. So, it just... The system is LeBron. It's also why when he leaves and teams crater, it's because you took the centerpiece out of this thing, right? It's the tent, and you took the main tent pole out. It doesn't necessarily, like, you have to build the team to him. And you see guys that were like great players in their own right, or wanted the ball in their hands and had the confidence. they don't last with him.
Yeah.
Like Dion Waiters, whatever you think of him.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, like.
Yep. Kyrie wanted, I mean,
Kyrie,
he didn't know
same
from
thing.
possession to possession. Am I bringing it up? Am I on the wing? Am I in the corner?
Yeah.
You
And then when you're like getting all of the heat, and I don't think
Yes,
this is all just from LeBron, it's just from the outside, when it's constantly, Kyrie doesn't have any assists. Oh, dude, like, okay, like, wait a minute, you're beating me up.
I'm not handling the ball.
That's not my job here, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where it becomes a challenge. And now, it's a little bit like the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. It's like Kawhi and San Antonio. And LeBron is hitting this spot now where there was a time where even being in Cleveland, you'd want to play with LeBron because you're like, I'm going to be in the finals, and I could win a championship. I could get a ring. That, playing in San Antonio under Pop, that, like, guys would make sacrifice.
Yeah.
New England, make a sacrifice. Right. Now, oh, wait a minute. I got to put up with all this, and I'm not getting a ring out of it?
Yeah,
Like, do I really want to put up with this?
Do you think there is a feeling maybe a growing feeling among a lot of players that they don't want to play with LeBron?
I don't think it's like so much they don't want to play with LeBron as much as this is what playing with LeBron means. It means that if things go wrong, I'm probably going to get the blame. Mm-hmm. And I am decidedly second banana.
Yep,
now,
by far,
how do you get a great player? Even Russell Westbrook, he coexisted with KD. In fact, KD was the bigger star.
Yep.
So Paul George looks at that and goes, he's not worried. Whatever we think on the outside about playing with Russell, he doesn't look at it and go, well, Russell's going to suck all the air out of the room, right?
Yeah,
he's going to have all the endorsements. He's going to have all the attention. No, I've seen it work otherwise. With LeBron, like everybody takes a back seat to LeBron. Question. And it's not, I don't mean blame him for it. It's just the reality of the situation.
It's the media, it's the outside world, all that.
For sure.
So let's talk about the players they added. You talked about the young guys they have. They added Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, Rajon Rondo, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who was there last year. What do you think about what we see? I mean, they didn't add any shooting. It's a bit baffling to me. What do you think?
Well, I think that they looked at it, and on one-year deals, you weren't going to be able to get the ideal players to fiddle around LeBron.
Okay.
So what you got were guys that he respects. Like Lance Stevenson and all that goofy stuff, like it might have annoyed LeBron, but the fact is, Lance wasn't afraid of him.
No question.
Lance was more than happy to defend him, to go at him. Rajon Rondo, same thing. Even JaVale McGee, get ISO'd on him. JaVale McGee's like, let's go. We'll try to get something done.
Yeah.
LeBron respects that. So maybe I can't get a player who's perfect for me, but I want to ride with guys that I know are not, if they're not afraid of me and I'm the best player in the league, then I got to believe they're not afraid of anybody. And I'd rather roll with guys who think they can play
got some dogs,
as opposed to like,
I get you.
The guys who it might be a shooter, but when I swing it to you, you're going to give it back to me, right? I don't need that.
Well, so how good will they be this year or next year, whatever?
I always think the people in Vegas are really smart because they got a lot more money invested in it to be smart than I do. But I think there's a huge overreaction to this.
Agree.
And maybe what they're anticipating is that ultimately Kawhi is going to be here. Because I do think that changes the template.
No question.
Somewhat. I don't know that it immediately puts them, at the top or a title contender, but it would make a big difference. But right now, there's two things. Number one, look at when LeBron went to Miami, and that was with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. They started slowly, right? They weren't even 500, 40 games into the season. Look at when he went back to Cleveland. They started slowly, right? It always takes some time to get up to speed. Mm-hmm. I would expect it's going to be the same thing here. They're not going to come. Look at when they
have as much talent as he had in those places.
Exactly, and that's on top of it. Like you don't have a Kyrie and a Kevin Love. You don't have Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. So chances are you're going to start slowly, and then where are you going to pick up? Like, are you suddenly going to jet off into the jet stream? I don't know. So Like, I have them at 46 wins, which puts them in the playoffs, I believe. But, you know, in the mix of teams that are catching that 6th, 7th, 8th seed.
Yeah.
And then if it's that, and you're going with this young crew against, you know, Houston or Golden State or Oklahoma City, you know, are you getting out of the first round?
Early.
So, look, I just think that's a realistic expectation, and I'm putting them in the playoffs only basically because of LeBron. I mean,
no question.
Everything else,
Yep.
it's like,
Yep.
why should I believe?
How volatile? I mean, Rondo, who by his own admission has never had a coach he got along with.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Lance. You know, LeBron. There's always some drama around LeBron. You got JaVale. You got Lonzo and LeVar. Do you think there's going to be a ton of drama and just blow-ups and, you know, all this stuff coming out of here?
I think there's going to be drama. I mean, there has to be, right? There has to be.
Because look, when LeBron's teams have not started well, he has not reacted well to that.
No,
know?
he is not. This is going to be new. But I mean, we had drama last year. Lonzo and LeVar.
Yep.
And this was a 35-win team.
I would
weren't
think
even paying
LeVar
attention
will
to.
tone down. I think he's smart enough to know, okay, we're not the show anymore. I better tone it down. If he doesn't, they'll be out of there if they can trade him.
Why do you believe that LeVar's going to do that? What about LeVar says to you, hey, you know what? You're right. I should pipe down. That dude went overseas to keep his act going. This platform's going to be bigger than ever.
That's going to be huge.
Do you think he's going to be able to resist that?
I just think, well, we haven't
It's the
heard
big
anything
baller
yet,
brand.
thankfully. We haven't heard anything yet. We haven't heard him welcoming LeBron in some crazy way.
That's true.
But
you know what? That's true.
I just think, like last year, the Lakers needed Lonzo to make them relevant.
Yeah.
Obviously they're the Lakers, they're relevant, but he brought, he was the show. He was the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's clearly not the story. I mean, he may not even start, So, and I think the Lakers, you've heard things, I'm sure. I've heard things. I mean, if they could get a good deal for him, they'd be open to moving him. So, I just think LeVar may be smart enough to see that stuff and tone it down. He'll make some comments here and there. I may be wrong, but this is just my gut.
Yeah, and ultimately, to me, it's not, like, I don't know that LeVar's really going to upset the apple cart. I mean, that even if he is out there, that's going to have a huge influence on the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the weird part, is that, like, Lance Stevenson talking to guys, he's a great locker room guy. Like, he's not as advertised on the floor. And Rajon Rondo, I have the utmost respect for him, and particularly the way he handled things in Chicago. I think New Orleans is going to miss him. I thought he was important to Anthony Davis. So I'm not worried about, like, these guys going at each other in the locker room and that being an issue. I just think it's going to be a struggle on the floor, like, to make it all fit
together.
Because Rajon plays with a very high IQ and he has ideas. You can't play him off the ball.
Yeah. And I don't think he will, and I'm not saying this in a negative, I don't know that he'll defer to LeBron.
No, I don't think he will
Right?
either. Unless there's,
he'll look for him, obviously he'll look at him as a scorer, but...
But he's not going to,
no.
He's not going to do what Derrick Rose did, which was hand it off and run to the corner.
That's right.
That's really what he did.
Right.
And as a result, Derrick Rose couldn't do anything.
Well, I've said it on the radio since these moves have been made. In a different way, it kind of reminds me that this year's what we see in the Lakers right now to what Cleveland was last year at the beginning of the season. Remember they added Rose, D. Wade, you got LeBron, Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
And on paper, remember LeBron, everybody thought we got tons of talent, we're going to be really good, and it didn't fit. I kind of see this, how's this going to fit?
Well, it goes back to the whole idea that, Derrick Rose was used to playing and having the ball in his hands. Like, LeBron is going to have the ball in his hands. So Lance even there, Lance.
And he's a bit of a playmaker.
He needs the ball in his hands. Like, he's a one-on-one guy.
Yeah.
Rajon needs the ball in his hands. Lonzo will give it up early, but really,
what's he gonna do without? Yeah, unless that shot somehow miraculously improves.
Right. So, even Kyle Kuzma isn't so much a catch and shoot guy. He's a nice breakdown guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where I think is going to be the struggle, is how do you get the best out of every guy with only one ball?
Yeah.
And I know it worked with Harden and Chris Paul, and you can trade off two guys, right?
Yeah.
Especially guys that can shoot the ball the
and
way
you had
they
shooters
can.
around them too.
And you open up space.
Yep.
But this, who do you have to stay home on? How crowded is that paint going to be?
I was saying they almost looked like they were building a team for the 90s. Where it's all around the paint.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And that's why, again, kind of going back to your original question, when it comes to LeBron and the decision that he made, this has so little to do with basketball. He knows the game. I mean, he knows. This was, I want to get away from Dan. I want to get out of Cleveland. I want to set myself up in L.A.
Yeah.
So he's accomplished all that. And you're starting from a blank slate, so you're going to have the opportunity to build something. It's just a matter, can you build it in time before while he's still a dominant player?
Yep. Now, Kobe Bryant well. He's been very complimentary of the move to get LeBron. Is that true, or is there a little, man, this pretty quick. Y'all moved on pretty fast without me, or what? What do you think?
No, I believe that, when he was, one of the things that really burned him when there was the whole Kobe Shaq thing was, part of it was Shaq, but part of it was the outside. Everybody going, T-Mac, Penny, Vince, if they were in Kobe's shoes and they were on this team, they'd have all the championships he had. He was like, do you not know who I am? Do you not know what I do? You don't know the difference between me and them. Let me show you.
Yeah.
And that's why when Shaq left, it was like, okay, watch.
Yep.
This is the reverse of that. This is, you think playing for the Lakers is easy? You think living in L.A. and having all these stars and entertaining them and being successful in their eyes and measuring against Magic and Kareem and all these, you think that's easy? You think LeBron's better than I am? Let's see. Bring him in here, right?
That's a great take. Yeah.
Let's see if he can meet all of the expectations that this franchise meets. And I think he also knows, as we've talked, if LeBron wins another championship, I mean, honestly, at this stage where this franchise is right now, if he wins another championship with the Lakers before he retires, it will match the achievement of winning a championship in Cleveland.
Yeah.
As he did. It would, to me, those two would be equal.
Yep.
So I think Kobe also looks at it and goes, I got 5. He has 3. Ain't no way he's catching me. Ain't no way. If he was in Philly, if he was in Houston, wherever he was, who knows what happens to the Western Conference if he's in the East. He gets to the finals, somebody gets hurt. He wins another one like he won the last one in Cleveland, right? Steph gets hurt. Bogut gets hurt. That whole thing. It lines up. Draymond gets suspended. It could happen. Now he's looking at it going,
not with this.
There's no way he's catching my 5. I'm good. So, LeBron, come on down.
Well, and that's what I said when it was all the talk about LeBron going to L.A. I said, look, in L.A., everybody of his stature that's played for the Lakers except Elgin Baylor won a championship. At least one. So if you go there and you don't, it's not going to look good.
It's not, and it's really not fair. I mean, it's really not fair. Yeah. I personally am not going to judge him on that because I'm looking at it going in saying, this team's not ready.
It's going to be tough, yep.
And, so after a year of whatever this is it going to be more attractive? It depends.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So, and then have you upgraded all these other pieces?
Yeah.
Are they going to look better or worse for playing next to LeBron? Are their numbers are going to be better or worse? So are you increasing the trade value of these pieces when you try to rejigger it? That's where, I don't know how, everybody just assumes, okay, this is an off year, but by next year they'll be there. I mean, maybe, but there's just as good a possibility that
that's a great point.
Another year of trying to put some pieces together.
Because the young guys might not look as good this year. There's no question. So let me ask you this then, the elephant in the room. Do you think they get Kawhi?
I don't.
Okay.
Well, at least not this year. I mean,
you do not think the Spurs will trade him?
I think the Spurs will trade him. I think they're going to trade him to the East.
Philly,
I think Philly makes the most sense. If you can get a Dario Saric and you can get a pick. I know that doesn't sound like a ton for Kawhi Leonard, but the fact is Dario Saric is going to want to stay there. Mm-hmm. And this is the beauty, especially.
And he can play.
I like him. I like him. Yeah. And I like him playing off of LaMarcus Aldridge. I think there's some grit there, and he's going to be happy in San Antonio. He's not going to be looking to go someplace else. And then you have that pick that
the Miami pick in 2021.
Yeah, which is always like that's always the great, especially in today's, Philadelphia lived off of this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we suck. We're really bad, but we got that pick, and your fan base is like, oh, we got the pick. Like they can imagine it's going to be some great player.
Yeah.
San Antonio can get through this, and besides, there's such a great system group that they're always going to be a good regular season team.
No question.
Right? I mean, they're always going to be in the hunt. Even without Kawhi, you still expect they're going to win 46, 47, 48 games. They'll be in the playoffs. And you get and who knows, maybe they get an additional pick. Mm-hmm. But the key is going to be that they get to negotiate with Brett Brown, a San Antonio guy. And that's important because nobody knows Kawhi Leonard's guys.
That's
right. Mitch Frankel has no reputation.
Yep.
So being able to do a deal through them is going to be really challenging, and especially for somebody who needs Mitch or needs them to say, yeah, we'll stay.
Yep.
Or we're not going to stay. Yep. Like, Brett Brown can at least have a conversation with Kawhi and honestly know where things stand. And I think that's going to be really important in the Spurs being able to get something of value.
So one of the big stories this week or early this week was Boogie Cousins going to Golden State. You saw the Twitter reaction is just the NBA is a joke now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that signing?
Honestly, I don't. First of all, having a great team, is the blueprint for the NBA success. The ratings all say that when you have a super team, especially with superstars on it, that's what draws the most attention from the mainstream. And come on, let's face it. I'm only disappointed that Boogie's not going to play until February.
Right.
Aren't you dying to see what that looks like?
Oh, my gosh.
Like, everybody is.
Yep.
And so it's not a matter of, well, I'm the Orlando Magic and I'm not going to have a chance against that team. No, it's when that circus comes to town,
it's sold out. That's right. That's right. It'll be like the Jordan Bulls.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what draws the attention. The NBA is not like the NFL. Like when you got 8, 9 teams and nobody knows. First of all, it's a transaction league, I believe now. The reason it owns the social space and the media is because there's always deals going on. Mm-hmm. There's the movement or there's the possibility of superstars changing places. Mm-hmm. There's no other sport that has that. And Adam Silver said this to me years and years ago when he was not the commissioner, when he was, I forget what his title was, assistant or whatever it was. Yeah. He said, you know what the dirty little secret about our league is? Nobody watches the games and it doesn't matter. Now, this was 15 years ago, maybe even a little longer. And that's the reality, is that now, like how many people go to games or how many people watch games from beginning to end, as opposed to how many people are watching for highlights?
That's right.
How many
That's right.
people are playing fantasy? How many people want to know what LeBron put on his Instagram?
Yeah.
How many, like,
Yeah.
they have all these streams of interest, but they're not the actual game.
Yeah.
So this only continues that
It's just a
interest,
storyline. It's
right?
not about the game. Yep.
And
That's a good
here's the
point.
thing with DeMarcus and Golden State. Like, this is a tryout by him for the rest of the league. This is where I don't think everybody's saying it's a genius move by the Warriors. I think it's a genius move by DeMarcus Cousins. He gets to play with a championship team. He gets to play with a team that doesn't need him right away and he knows is going to be there in the postseason. He gets to, so he's going to have all of that. He gets to play on a team that can feature him in ways because they have the spacing
Yep.
and the scoring and everything. And so then, and he gets to prove, hey, look, I get along with all these guys.
Yep.
I get along with other great players.
Yep.
And I won a ring. And now I'm a free agent. And the only way they can get him back is to sign him to another luxury tax mid-level.
Yep.
Well, that's not what he's playing for. Now, this is the danger. From what I've been told, they want him to come off the bench. They want him to be the anchor of their second unit. So they can keep that small ball team together intact, which makes sense,
Yeah.
and say, we're going to put Sean Livingston, and we're going to put Quinn Cook, and we're going to put Patrick McCaw. We're going to put all these guys around, and you're going to be the featured guy. Now, he's never come off the bench in his career. Can he adapt to that role? And will he accept that role knowing that he's auditioning
Yep.
for everybody else?
Yep.
That's the great risk in this. Aside from the fact that we've never seen a guy tear his Achilles and come back and be the same guy.
That's right.
So this idea that they just added a 4-time All-Star,
Maybe not.
I don't
Right.
know. Elton Brand was a 2-time All-Star,
Yep.
tore it. He was a double-double machine. He was a 2010 guy. He was a 15-8 guy after that, never sniffed being an All-Star again.
Yeah. Well, let's close with this game called Good, Bad, and Ugly.
Oh,
all right, the good, the
okay.
bad, the ugly.
I like games.
All right, give me a quick explanation, but I'm gonna roll through some of the signings, and you put it into one of those categories. Was this signing good, bad, or ugly?
Okay.
And give me a quick explanation. Chris Paul, 4 years, 160 million with the Rockets.
I'm going to say good because you didn't have any choices. But, man, I don't want to see what it looks like in that 4th year. They better hope the salary cap is really jacking
Yeah.
up through the roof so they're going to have space to do some other things.
I was thinking, saying 3 years. I would have loved him in 3 years.
Yeah.
But you had to get him there. All right, Paul George, 4 years, 137 million in OKC.
Oh, so good. So good. And for Russell Westbrook, changes the whole dynamic. And I'm of the mind that I was around them when they played Utah. I think they can make it work. I think they have a chance of being a really special team. I think they can contend.
What do you think happens with Melo?
I think he either has a transformation and accepts the role, or they buy him out, or they I could see them moving on. If he doesn't come correct, I could see them moving on.
They save him a ton of money too. Waive him and stretch him.
Yeah, like $100 million off of the tax.
That's tempting. All right, DeAndre Jordan, 1 year, 24 million, Dallas.
Bad.
Yeah, I didn't get this one.
Yeah, it's almost like the girl that you tried to date and she wouldn't have anything to do with you, and then she comes back around and you go, all right, I'm really not into her anymore. Yeah, she's not that hot anymore, but I still gotta, I want to check that box. But look, DeAndre Jordan type, it's at least a 1 year.
Yeah.
Like the one that scares me, I don't know if we've got Clint Capella on there.
Tell me about that one.
Got to load up on that. Like, if you can't shoot a jump shot in this league, I don't care what position you play. That's where we're going.
Now, Houston has to bring him back, though, don't you think?
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
The question is how much.
Well, yeah, and if I'm another team, I'm putting an offer sheet out there because they have to
scares
match, but I want to hamstring them for the foreseeable future.
That's a good one. This one, a little lower name, Doug McDermott, 3 years, 22 million, Pacers.
For the value of scoring in this league, I know $8 million a year sounds like, or 7 some a year sounds like a lot for Doug McDermott. That's the value of shooting. I'm okay with that.
Okay. Last one, Julius Randle, 2 years, $18 million, Pelicans.
Good. Yeah. I think he's gonna. I think he gives you grit. You know what's amazing? Like a year ago, I was not. I thought he was a one-handed.
Yep.
I thought he was Tyreek Evans at the beginning. Only went one direction,
Yep.
limited. There are so many guys I've talked to in the league who really are impressed with the grit and the competitive fire of Julius Randle, and I think he's a perfect fit next to Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Because I think you need that kind of guy next to him to keep him going.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good one.
There was no uglies.
There was no any ugly signings? Not on this list, but just in general?
Trying to think who's out there that the DeMarcus Cousins one could be ugly. That could wind up being ugly.
See, I think that if it goes south for whatever reason,
Yeah.
because he's not happy with his role, because he's not getting along in the locker room, to me, they can just cut him.
Well,
you know.
they can, but their bench
They
was
won't
thin.
have a big. Yeah.
Their bench was thin. They're not going to have a big, and you could have used that luxury tax mid-level exception. Could you have gotten, I don't know, an Avery Bradley? Could you have gotten a Tyreek Evans? Could you have gotten somebody who's going to be there all year long and made
And
you
help you,
even
actually
better at your small ball?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. That'll be
We'll see.
interesting.
It's going to be fun.
Ric Bucher, thanks, man, for coming
Pleasure,
in
man.
the zone. Great reuniting with you.
Absolutely.
All right, you know what time it is. It's time for Knockdown Jay, where I knock them down every single week.
Not today.
My man, Jay Mack.
Good
what's
to see you
happening,
again,
brother?
CB.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm ready to do a victory lap over LeBron to LA.
Oh, yeah, you had sources on that, huh?
No, yeah, all
Or you
year,
just
baby.
Went, you just went with
12
everybody
months.
else.
Oh, yeah.
You were just one of the millions
Sure.
saying he's going to the Lakers.
Since
But,
last July, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, it's good. It's good for the NBA.
Good for this show? Maybe we get him in the zone?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Come
I
on,
can't
LeBron.
promise that, but you never know. You never know. We'll see. But obviously been a great free agency.
Tremendous.
So I know you got some big time topics.
I've got some
for me,
big time
so hit me with
topics.
your best shot.
So, Chris, obviously, LeBron to the Lakers, the biggest news in the NBA by far. Unfortunately, he didn't come with another superstar the
Right.
way he did to Miami and then back to Cleveland. However, he added JaVale McGee.
Did you just say?
He also added Lance
Did you just say
Stevenson.
that with a straight face?
He kept KCP.
Added Rajon Rondo.
I forgot about. Is it Rajon or Rajon?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we'll get him
I
in the zone.
used to know, but now I don't know.
Either way, he's added a lot of spare parts. Him and Magic, let me give Magic some credit. I do like what the Lakers have done. Let me add this. They won 35 games last year. Brandon Ingram missed 23 games. Lonzo missed 30. They had a bunch of just parts mixed in and still won 35
That's
games
what
in
they
the
got
West.
right now, a bunch
So
of
I
parts
thought
mixed
that
in.
was a good accomplishment last year. I think LeBron automatically adds a good 15, 16 wins. I think the Lakers, probably third in the West. I believe they're title contenders. Chris, are the Lakers title contenders?
Title contenders, meaning they could win the championship next year. That's a title contender, right?
Yes.
That's our. No. As great as LeBron James is, the Lakers as currently constituted. Now, we're not adding in Kawhi. As currently constituted, the Los Angeles Lakers will not have a chance to win the NBA title.
Let's
next
mark that down because he's saying no chance
year.
whatsoever.
No chance. They are not an NBA title
When was the last
contender.
time LeBron was counted out?
Hold on. LeBron is in the Western Conference now.
Yes.
Okay? That Cleveland Cavaliers team that he just took to the NBA Finals may have gotten knocked out in the first round of the playoffs in the
They
West.
almost got knocked out in the East in the first round.
Yeah, but they very easily could have been beaten in the first round. And that's not a knock on LeBron. It's just a knock on, it's the Western Conference. There's a lot tougher on it. First of all, you got these young kids around him. Let's see how they play with LeBron. Because Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., they were a part of this, the Lakers got all these great young players. They were in that mix.
Certainly.
And then we saw them on the big stage under the pressure of playing with the greatest player in the world, where every game matters, where it's championship or bust, and they crumbled.
They did, yeah.
They crumbled. So let's see how Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram play off LeBron with the stakes much higher. Then I'm fine. I love the 1-year deals because you're saving your cap room for next year. But the Lakers look to me like they're building a team for 1997.
Oh, stop.
Where is the shooting?
Stop it.
Where is the shooting? They were 29th in the league in three-point shooting last year. LeBron James, for the last 8 years of his career, it has been about space the floor with three-point shooters and let LeBron create and do his thing. The Lakers certainly aren't going to be able to play that way. And with Luke Walton, who comes out of the Golden State coaching tree, he wants that type of motion, free-flowing, quick ball movement, offense. Rondo's not a shooter. Doesn't stretch the floor.
Rondo made
play off
8
the ball.
3-pointers in 2 playoff series. Ben Simmons made 0 last year. Continue.
Oh, okay, fine. Everybody knows Ben Simmons is not a three-point shooter. Rondo's far from a three-point shooter. Can't spread the floor. Lance Stevenson can't shoot the three.
Right.
Now they got some playmakers, but none of them are shooters. They were a horrible three-point shooting team last year, and they're adding players that can't shoot.
Chris, you've been covering basketball for a long time. You've seen LeBron generate enough offense that the team's got to double him. The defense have to attract to LeBron to slow him down. Those open shots last year that Kyle Korver was getting and Kevin Love, they're going to be open shots for Brandon Ingram, who had a good year shooting threes.
Brandon Ingram
No,
too.
not yet.
He shot 1.8 threes a game.
Yeah.
So the 39%, it'll lessen as he takes more threes. If
Maybe,
he takes more
unless
threes.
he's taking open threes. Kyle Kuzma, good.
They took
not
open
great
threes
three-point
last
shooter.
year.
Possible. I'm not going to put Lonzo in there because we know he struggled from deep. I'm just saying, I believe those shots will be a lot easier when LeBron is creating that space on the floor to get them the ball in good spots.
The guys you mentioned, how much are they going to be on the floor? The Ingram and Kuzma, and I love both of them. But Lonzo, I mean, he's going to have to battle with Rajon Rondo. Rondo has been told it's open season. It's open competition because now with LeBron, the Lakers are thinking win now.
Of course.
They're not even committed to the youngsters.
Yeah.
Now, whether they use these youngsters to go out and trade for Kawhi, maybe that's what they're thinking. But right now, they are in win now mode, even though they're not a title contender, I don't believe. But they are saying, let's go out and have the best team we have.
So you say not title contender. I believe there's only like 3 or 4 in the league, and I think the Lakers are one of them. We got Golden State, obviously, head and shoulders. I think Boston second. I think Houston.
Because they're in the East. These are the title. You got to put Philly in there now.
Philly and Boston in the East.
Philly and Boston. And even though I don't think they could win a title.
No, don't say Golden State. I'm sorry, don't say Toronto.
You have to put Toronto in there with the East. They had one problem in the Eastern Conference. And guess what? He's now in the Western Conference.
So the Raptors are now title contenders.
In the East, they wouldn't win it, but they could get to the finals. That's the definition of a title contender. If you can get to the finals, you can contend for the title.
I will bet you any dinner anywhere you want in the United States of America
We'll do
that
a
the
dinner.
Raptors don't make the finals. It's not happening.
I'm not predicting it, but they have a chance. You got Boston's the favorite in the East, Philly's second,
right.
And then Toronto is in that grouping. And I'm going to say coming up is Milwaukee.
Yeah,
Mike
I'll
Lou
buy
knows
that.
going to make them better. So I'm not predicting Toronto. I'm just saying I would put them as a team that can contend for the Eastern Conference title.
In the West.
So those 3. In the West, you got 2.
Golden State, Houston, and then why can't the Lakers be third? Why can't they be above New Orleans?
But that doesn't mean they can beat Houston or Golden State.
I'm just going to say Houston lost their best 3-and-D player in Trevor Ariza. We'll see what happens with Capella. I don't know that they're going to win 65 again.
If they
Chris
lose
Paul
Capella,
breaking down
that's
all the
huge.
time.
They don't have to win. It's not about winning 65. Nobody cares about that. It's about the playoffs. And I would I think Golden State and Houston in the West are the clear top 2 teams. Now, I will give you this. I put the Lakers in that grouping with Oklahoma City, with Utah, with New Orleans.
Utah's got to be above Oklahoma City, by the way.
No, they're in the same grouping. And Portland, if you throw them in there, I mean, we'll see what San Antonio does. But the Lakers are in that group where they could finish third or 6th or 7th.
52 wins, I'll say, for the Lakers. Remember, 35 last year.
That's fine.
That's going to be probably third in the West.
They could win, not necessarily.
49 was third in the West last year.
Yeah, but they playing, the teams
Spurs are going to be worse
That's
if
an
Kawhi sits
aberration.
out.
Like, the 49 was an aberration. And one is the teams are playing each other. There have been recent years where a team won 50 games in the West and missed the playoffs, or 49 and missed the playoffs.
I don't want to get in the final word, but I have to add, no team in the modern era has gone to the finals 5 years in a row. Golden State's trying to do that, okay? Mentally, physically, they've played an entire another season in the last 4 years.
Had any player in the modern era made 8 straight finals?
No, had not been done.
Had 2 teams in the modern era made 4 straight finals against each other?
I don't believe so.
No. So we're
you're just
seeing players average triple doubles. With the 3-point line, history is changing.
So you're penciling Golden State into the finals?
Yes.
Okay.
They're the best team by far.
Right. Chris, let's move on to number 2. Kawhi Leonard, still on the market, maybe. The Spurs could try to entice him with the Supermax. Do they try to keep him? I personally think he wants Lakers. It depends who you read, what sources you listen to, whether he wants definitely Lakers or just Los Angeles. I think in a year, that guy's going to want to be here in LA. I wouldn't trade for him if I'm a team in the East.
Where did Paul George want to go?
Well, that's an entire another story.
Can you answer my question?
Well, Paul George ended up with OKC because the Lakers didn't go after him at the end. They wanted Kawhi Leonard.
The Lakers would not have taken. It wasn't an either or.
Did Magic Johnson even try to recruit Paul
Yes.
George? The final days, he did. So you're telling me Magic Johnson said, "Hey, Paul George, we want you to come to LA. Will you sit down
That's
and
your
talk to me?"
story?
What do you mean story?
That
We're
the
talking about
Lakers
Kawhi
did
Leonard.
not want Paul George?
They wanted him for 11 months. In the last 2 weeks, it was all Kawhi Leonard, Lakers, Kawhi Leonard, Lakers.
It wasn't an either or proposition.
Well, they could not afford
You could trade.
both.
Yes, they could.
I had a salary cap expert, Larry Kuhn, on my radio show. He said you cannot afford Kawhi, Paul George, and LeBron.
Why not?
Physically, they could not do it under the cap.
It wasn't about the cap. All you had to do, you could sign LeBron and Paul George in free agency.
To max deals.
Yes. Or even a little less, but
Well,
yeah,
that's
to max.
the thing, a little less.
To
Paul
max
George ain't
deals.
taking less.
He didn't take the most money he could get in Oklahoma City.
$137 million.
And then they could have stretched Luau Dang to get even more room. They could have got.
Well, the salary cap guys say it was impossible for
Larry
all three.
Kuhn is great. They could have got Paul George and LeBron,
okay.
and then traded for Kawhi.
So my point
it wasn't
was
either or. Don't
that there
go
was
there.
no shot of that.
He
and as
chose
such,
Oklahoma City.
As such, I would not trade if I'm a team in the East, Boston or Philly. I would not trade for Kawhi.
I'm with you on Boston, even though I love Kawhi there, unless they could get him for a steal. Now I would give up Gordon Hayward. If I was Boston, I would give up Gordon Hayward.
You're really down on Gordon Hayward. Aren't
No, he's good, but he's not a superstar. Kawhi Leonard's a superstar.
That's a fact.
I would give up Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and the Memphis pick, which is protected through 8 next year, and then some protections the following year, and then unprotected. So I would do that if I'm Boston.
Is that better than your Philly package? Gordon?
It might be. I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't break the bank if I'm Boston to get Kawhi, because I like what they have coming back.
Gordon Hayward's not breaking the bank?
No,
Is Brad
no.
Stevens' guy?
Gordon Hayward is going to be Kawhi. Kyrie next year is the first option, clearly.
Right.
I think Jason Tatum, in short order, if not right away, will be the second guy. And you got Horford now. Jaylen Brown, I think, is going to be better than Gordon Hayward in 2 years, if not sooner. I mean, Jaylen Brown is a legitimate
I think you
two-way
need to
player.
put some respect on Gordon Hayward.
Really? Really?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
This was a guy everybody in the league wanted last summer at this time. Everybody wanted Gordon Hayward. And now all of a sudden he's not as good as Jaylen Brown. And
Jaylen Brown is legit.
I
boy.
agree. They're good, but right now.
Jaylen Brown is going to be one of the best two-way players in the league. But let's not settle on that. Let me get to your answer. Philadelphia, that's the team that should go for Kawhi Leonard. Philadelphia, you got the Brett Brown connection, was in the San Antonio coaching staff.
Right.
Had a relationship with Kawhi. The doctor that Kawhi has worked with in New York works for the Sixers.
Yes.
You got these connections there. You got a great point guard, pass first. You got a great big man. Kawhi Leonard could go to Philadelphia. Now, it's a risk. I'm with you. It is a risk. But Kawhi Leonard, I believe, if he goes to Philadelphia and it goes well basketball-wise, the city, it's a good city.
Okay,
I think there's a chance that he could stay there.
So obviously the Spurs are going to ask for Fultz and Saric and a pick. Are you giving?
Not obviously. That's not obvious. They might. I'm trying to give them Robert Covington. I'll give them Miami's First unprotected
21. Pop ain't going to be there in 21.
Well, we don't know that
69
for
years
sure.
old.
I mean, the talk is that he might quit after the Olympics, but we'll see. But I would give him that pick, and I would give him Covington. If I have to give him Fultz, then I'll probably give him Fultz. You know, because they got their
giving
two
up
building
on a
blocks.
number one pick who's 20 to
It's a
rank
risk.
Kawhi.
Look, Oklahoma City gave up an all-star in Victor Oladipo.
Okay.
Paul George is better than
You didn't get out of the
Oladipo.
first round of the playoffs.
You're going forward, all right?
You getting out of the first round?
We'll see. The West is tough, man. It ain't the Eastern Conference, as I told you in answer number one. All right, now, all I'm saying is if I'm Philadelphia, I take the chance. Because if I lose him, I still got my two building blocks to build around.
What is your guess for where Kawhi ends up? Do you think he
Philly.
Do you think he demands a trade?
Well, he's already told him he wants to be traded.
I'm going to sit out the season, which is rumored.
No, that is not. No. Stop
Will he
it.
pull a Kyrie Irving and say, I'm getting surgery on my quad?
Kawhi Leonard will not sit out the season. He will not threaten to sit out the season. He's not going out like that. He is a guy that has some class. He will not go out like that.
So Kawhi Leonard's going to show up in camp, be a model
If he has
citizen.
to, he will.
This is a guy last year who got backstabbed by Tony Parker, got kind of backstabbed by Manu, by Pop, and he's going to face them in the locker room?
Is he a punk?
I mean, he sat out 80,
Is he
70,
a punk?
He sat out 72 games last year with a quad injury that Tony Parker said his was 100 times worse.
Doctors in New York said he wasn't ready to play.
But what if he comes back this season?
Were the doctors on his payroll? Were the doctors
I don't know.
in cahoots with him to come up with some
Kawhi
theory
Leonard has
so he
to do
didn't
is
have to
come
play?
back and say, I'm still not ready to go. You don't think that's a possibility, Chris?
No, you cannot. You sit out 2 straight years essentially in the NBA. Now, first of all, everybody's going to look at you like you're mentally weak, you're physically weak,
probably.
you're a punk, and it's going to mess with your money.
And you know what he would say?
It's going to mess with your money.
But do you know what he would say? Go tell Tony Parker I'm a punk. Go
Oh
tell
my
Popovich.
gosh.
You want to take shots at me? Nobody takes shots at their teammates like that after they've been together for 7 years, Chris. That was dirty.
I don't care
can't
how
understand
dirty
why
it was.
Kawhi's
You a
pissed.
man. Walk into the light. If you got a problem with Tony Parker, walk up to Tony Parker. You got something to say to me?
Oh, yeah, that's a real classy. You're going to fight your teammate in the locker room?
That's classier than sitting out a whole season. I mean, I don't think
who's going to
Kawhi
want
do that.
somebody? Who's going to want to go after somebody who went in the locker room and punched out Tony Parker? Who's going to want? What teams are going to want to go after him? You just knocked out your teammate. Nobody wanted Boogie Cousins. He was just on the market. We're going to talk about him in a second.
Hold on.
You can't punch out a teammate,
Really?
Chris. That's not
really.
That.
Didn't the GOAT?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Didn't the GOAT
Michael Jordan
punch out a teammate?
Well, Michael Jordan's winning 5 championships. He can punch out a teammate before he wins number 6.
I thought nobody wanted a player that punched out a teammate.
It's Michael Jordan.
But was Michael Jordan the player?
Oh gosh, Chris, you're not doing this, are you?
Yes, I'm doing this. Okay. I'm not saying.
That's your,
no, hold on.
Okay,
I'm not.
Okay, good, okay.
You went to lengths I didn't want to go to. I didn't say Kawhi Leonard should punch out Tony Parker. I said he should show up if they don't trade him and play his butt off. And then if he wants to leave as a free agent, leave. I'm saying that's all I'm saying. Yeah. And you the one made it a big. Tony Parker said this. Then I'm saying if he really had a problem with Tony Parker like that,
apologize to Kawhi, and then I'll come in the locker room and say hi to you.
No, apology or not, whether he apologized or not. I'm a man. You know how many times I've worked with people that have dogged me behind my back or dogged me in public?
So what did
it's called being a
did
professional.
Did you demand an apology? Did you go step up and say, what's your beef?
If I have to demand an apology, I would. Sometimes I just go do my job. It's called being a professional. Okay. You are under contract. What I'm told is Kawhi Leonard will be a professional.
That would be nice. I would like to see that.
Come on, man. He ain't sitting out a whole season. That's ridiculous.
Other people are reporting that.
He's not sitting out a whole season.
Talking about here. All right, final question, because we need to give you a layup, Chris. You're struggling here. Is Boogie Cousins good or bad for the NBA when he goes to the Golden State Warriors? People on social media freaking out. 25-13. How could he do this? I'm not watching the NBA. I mean, Chris, this is so overblown and stupid. Like, number one, nobody really wanted Boogie Cousins around the league. 29 other teams could have called him. Boogie Cousins said not one team called him.
Why didn't they want him?
Well, he's had a history of problems in the locker room dating back to Sacramento. He's an indifferent defender. There's plenty of video last year of him loafing on defense, arguing with officials. I think he led the league in technical fouls once or twice. And he's coming off an Achilles, which is one of the worst injuries you can come off of, especially at 270 pounds at the age, I believe he's 28, going to be 29 soon. Like, that's tough. Go look at what happened to Elton Brand. About the same age, same weight. He was a shell of his former self. I mean, there's no market for Boogie Cousins. I think this is a genius move. There's no pressure for him in Golden State. But the idea that this makes the Warriors like unbeatable, no, I just don't buy that at all. Does he even fit perfectly with this team?
No, he does. They're the definitive favorite without
with
Boogie.
Or without, yeah.
With him, the talent gap just grows that much stronger. With Golden State, there was one weakness, and I used to say it: play big, pound them. San Antonio gave him some trouble by going big with LaMarcus Aldridge and Pau Gasol. Now, that doesn't exist anymore. They were. They weren't a soft team, but they were relatively soft. I mean, you could kind of get physical with them, push them around. That's how Cleveland beat them. That's how Memphis gave them problems in the past. Now with Boogie, they're not soft. You're not going to be pushing them around. They're not going to cower like that.
I know Draymond Green
anyway,
watches this.
But they're going to be a little tougher.
You want to take back some of the soft stuff?
No, Draymond clearly is not soft. I'm just saying overall, people view Steph and Durant kind of softer. I'm not saying I'm not saying they're soft.
Okay.
But they were a finesse team. Let's put it that way. They were a team that the feeling was get physical with them, beat them up, things like that to give yourself a chance. Now with Boogie, you got somewhat of an enforcer. He has to be on his best behavior.
Right.
Okay, he has no choice. If he acts up, if he's bad in the locker room, if he's bad on the court, doesn't adjust, you get rid of him and you don't miss a beat.
No.
So I agree with you. I don't want to hear the fans and other teams complaining, oh, this is unfair. Golden State's playing by the same rules as everybody else. Their front office has been gangster. Period. The end. This was a great move. You're right. Nobody else made him an offer.
Detroit could have called up, oh, we need you. But anybody could have done this.
But you're right.
He wouldn't have gone to Detroit. I
actually think the Lakers, for 1 year, I would have taken a chance. I'm not a huge Boogie fan.
And that's a good point.
But I would have taken a chance to see if he can act right with LeBron, if he fits with LeBron, and then maybe you go forward if it works out.
They gave Rondo $9 million. He made $3 million last year. The Warriors just gave Boogie 5.3. That, to me, something's off there. Now, I know Rondo is healthy, has been playoff tested.
That's a big loss for New Orleans.
He's a big addition to the Lakers defensively. He's going to toughen up Lonzo. But it's tough for me to fathom how they can pay Rondo $9 million and not even make a play for Boogie.
No, they clearly didn't want. Look, like you said, Boogie's had his problems in the locker room. And he was better in New Orleans, but he still has that reputation. Yeah. We see him with the refs. And I agree with you. I feel like Boogie, for the most part, has not played winning basketball. He's never been in the playoffs.
They're hollow, right?
I wouldn't say hollow, but I just think, first of all, he doesn't play great defense. He loafs up the court. He's arguing with officials, so he doesn't get up.
That's not gonna fly.
One person today was telling me the Warriors should be hard line with him and put in a 3-second rule for Boogie. You have to be across half court within seriously, within 3 seconds. That'll get you hustling, and that'll keep you from arguing with the refs. The little things, like, why is he taking 6.5 threes a game? He's a 35% three-point shooter.
Well, I think that's helped his game become like next level. He's like a 25 and 13 guy thanks to the three-pointers.
Yeah, but he shoots 35% and he shoots 6.5 a game, and he's 6'11", 270, and nobody could stop him on the block. He's a good passer. He could be killing teams as they double him on the block.
He is a good passer.
Passing out. So I'm just saying that's not smart. If I'm that big, I like that he can step out and hit the three here and there. I'm fine with him taking 3, maybe 4 a game. But your bread and butter, if you're Boogie, is inside, because nobody can stop you there. So that's what I mean. He's going to have to adjust. He's a ball stopper.
Yeah, but for
they're not going to go for that and go stay.
Why are people freaking out, Chris?
Because from a talent, this dude is an elite talent. He is a tremendous talent.
Top 15 player in the league?
Well, talent-wise, easily.
Okay.
And probably, he's probably a top 15 player.
Okay.
And you just put him with 4 other All-Stars. So it looks lopsided. It looks ridiculous.
Now, he's probably not going to play till February. This idea of him playing by Christmas, none of that stuff's happening. Coming off an Achilles at 270 pounds?
Rudy Gay did it.
Now he's smaller, like a small forward.
Boogie's shooting for he's probably overstating it. He's shooting for training camp.
And he's been overweight like almost his entire career.
He's got a lot to prove.
Yeah,
he knows, as great as he is, we said top 15, top 20 player for sure. 20. He should have got a max contract. He's a max talent. He's a max player, but he's playing for $5 million. So if he's got anything inside of him then he's going to have a great year, be a good soldier, and that's going to benefit Golden State. And they're going to be unbeatable if he keeps
just
his
let me do
head
something
straight.
real quick. How much of a slap in the face is it to Boogie for them to go after Randall 2 years, $18 million? Like right after they steal Rondo to the Lakers, they go offer Julius Randle over Boogie. To me,
I think they needed
But Randall
once
can't
they
play
lost
with Mirotic and Anthony Davis.
Once they lost Rondo, they needed another playmaker. Because Drew Holiday was great off the ball, and Randall can make plays. You know, he's a versatile player. Can't shoot the three. Can't spread the floor.
I don't think he starts.
But he's a versatile player. We'll see if he starts or not. But he can play inside. He's a good. I think that's a good pickup for them. I mean, I would have loved if I'm them. They didn't offer Rajon Rondo the full mid-level.
Well, how much was that?
Boogie's playing for it at $5.3 million. They didn't offer him the full
Lakers
mid-level.
overpaid for Rondo.
Well, no, because
they did $9 million.
No, my point is, New Orleans was willing to give him like 2 years, $8 million, something like that. 2 million, $9 million. So money, but for 1 year, $9 million. I like Rondo. I think New Orleans definitely should have kept him.
One quick note on Rondo. If you watched any of that Portland series, he was awesome.
Oh, he was phenomenal.
I mean, and if you go back
and
2
Drew
years ago.
Holiday were playing like one of the best backcourts
2
in the
years
league.
ago, the Bulls against the number 1 seeded Celtics led 2-0
He's a
because of
winner.
Rondo.
He's a winner.
I'm telling you, this is not a knock on Lonzo. If come playoffs, and the Lakers will be in the playoffs, I'm starting Rondo at point guard to start games. He's that good in the playoffs. This guy
you got 82
he's a
games
money
to see
player.
how things go. The question is who will start opening night. They might start Rondo opening night.
Maybe. I'm a who finishes games, not starts. I think finishing final 5-7 minutes, that's more important than who starts. You want to let Lonzo start, I don't think Rondo's going to care. But he wants to be on the court in winning time.
Whatever. But Lonzo's going to have to fight for his position. Because the Lakers now are like win now mode. They're not built around these youngsters now. They're built around vets. And so Lonzo's going to have to fight for his position.
How well did Lonzo do fighting against De'Aaron Fox? Okay, when the guys get up in him, Patrick Beverly, guys challenge him.
Lonzo's gonna come at him.
Lonzo's kind of folded. Rondo's gonna be talking trash about LeVar in practice. I can't wait. We gotta get to some practices, Broussard. Will Magic let us in?
They don't show you practices. You'll get in for the last 15 minutes when they shoot free throws. That's about it.
I'll do it. It's right near where I live, man. Come on.
We had some games though, that's for sure.
Yes.
All right, there it is. Knockdown Jay. 3 for me, 0 for Jay. Peace. We'll see you next week. Go to iTunes, go to SoundCloud, go to Apple Podcasts. Leave us 5 stars. Leave us a comment and keep tuning in to In the Zone.
Ooh, I like that. A little twist.